So it's that time of year again, everybody. It is fall, which has a lot of lawn care um, hobbyists, individuals, homeowners wondering the same question every year. Should I overseed my yard? Should I aerate my lawn this year? Should I power rake my yard? What should I be doing for my lawn to help it look better, considering we are coming through quite a bit of summer stress, which is normal. Every year living in Kansas, we're going to have drought issues, heat issues, battling insects. Last year was the armyworms. Grubs are still out there. So a whole host of issues that we battle through the summer, leading into fall, which everybody's lawn looks a little bit rougher during that time. And so you start wondering, should I do something for my yard? Should I overseed? Should I aerate? Should I power rake? And the simple question, the answer to that question is yes, you should. Overseeding is the only thing you can do for your yard that is guaranteed to help make it look better next year. It's going to help thicken it up, which will aid in keeping out any weeds. It's going to keep the competition so high with healthy green, fescue, bluegrass, whatever mixes, that the crabgrass doesn't have any room to break through. The dandelions can't push their way in. The Bermuda stays a little bit more at bay. So with the overseeding, you get a tremendous list of benefits that will drastically improve the overall appearance of your lawn for next year, as well as aid in making your journey through your lawn next year easier, because you won't have as many weeds and thin spots, and you get a much better lawn, guaranteed, if you follow all the right steps and do the processes correctly. You're going to get results, and it's going to help your yard. The question then is often, how frequently should you be doing it? If you haven't done it for a while, you absolutely should be doing it this year soon, getting it on your plan. If you have done it recently, generally every 2 to 3 years is a good recommendation, just to constantly be putting new grass down. There is such a thing as seed technology, where lawns that were planted a long time ago have seed and plants that aren't as drought tolerant as they are available today. And if you're using the correct seed that's coming out and fresh and new and being tested in trials, you can guarantee that it's going to do better than your yard ever has before. So once you come to the conclusion that yes, I need to seed, then you decide how frequently. If you haven't done it, definitely do it. If you have been doing it, get on a regular program. And if you're looking for just the most perfect lawn you can, you should be looking at doing it every year. And then you start talking minimums every fall, maximums twice a year. We do have winter damage. That's a thing in Kansas. And oftentimes getting a little bit more seed down in the spring then, while not always recommended, can help keep your lawn looking as good as you can throughout the year. So yes, you should absolutely be overseeding your yard this fall, and then beginning to make the decisions. Should you aerate as well? Should you power rake or dethatch in addition to the overseeding? Those are questions that vary based upon the lawn. Not every single person's yard is going to require the exact same steps or same processes in those steps. Everyone is unique, and so you can't just guarantee that following these 4 steps will give you the results you need. It does require some assessment of your lawn, but with aerating, if you have a lot of traffic with pets, children, neighborhood kids coming over, you have a larger lawnmower that might be putting a little bit more weight over your yard, it might be something you want to look into. If you know you don't put much traffic on your yard, it's push mode, no pets or children anywhere close to it, then you might not need to. And there are tools and probes you can use to figure out exact parameters on yes you need to, yes you don't. But looking at your yard, if it looks green and healthy, it probably doesn't need it. Will it hurt it? No. So including it in your routine is certainly something that will aid and help make your yard last a little bit better through next year's summer. It's not a bad practice to implement. It's just not something that's always required for every lawn. And then with the power raking or the dethatching, we're removing a lot of that old grass that hasn't survived. Areas where there was a high amount of stress that might be dying severely, it's a good idea to try and clean that out as much as you can. And if you do just have a really thick lawn, which can lead to issues with disease, it's more prone to insects since it is thick and healthy. Thinning that out is a good way to help increase the air circulation and just overall help your lawn rejuvenate through that, and while overseeding at the same time. But it's also something that is not always required for every lawn. Thinner lawns don't always need a proper deep dethatching. It is a very involved process where you're going to remove a lot of material onto the surface of the lawn, and then removing all that material is quite involved. And so it's not something that you should be looking at doing every single year, but only in those situations where it is very thick or a very old lawn and we want to try to implement some newer seed by thinning it out to help it come back next year and just rejuvenate itself and look a little bit greener longer through the year. But these are all tactics that you can use throughout this fall season to help your lawn bounce back. It has been a very hard summer with drought and heat stress like we've very little experienced in a long time. And because of that, there's going to be things that we need to do. We need to plant seed if you want to have any sort of recovery. Realistically, it doesn't matter what level of maintenance your yard is at. Every yard has somewhere in it that needs seed. So if you're wondering, thinking, trying to decide whether or not you should overseed your yard this fall, the answer is yes. It's then just figuring out that process afterwards on how are you going to do it, what exactly does your yard require, and then we're going to make a series of other videos explaining in detail throughout that process. If you do want to DIY it yourself, you'll have some more information to try to figure that out. Or if you're wanting to just watch the process of a lawn get completely renovated. This is my own personal lawn with reasons as to why we need to overseed it as well. And as well as something I do every single spring and fall, just because I have all the implements to do so. But if you're interested in wondering how this process gets done, stay tuned. We're going to try to film as much as we can and deliver that back to you guys. So stay tuned.